So today I'm going to show you how I mount my rifle scope on my new Tikka CTR. So the first thing I do is make sure my rifle's nice and stable, and I grab this bubble level that I got from Bunnings. It's nice and cool, pretty simple to use, so I just pop that on the top of the Picatinny rail. Make sure it's actually sitting on there nice and flush and square, and then basically check to make sure that bubble's nice and level, and I check that at the front. Also check that at the front and at the back. Both looks pretty good. So once I've made sure the rifle's level, now the next thing to do is mount my scope. So I'm using a Leupold Mark4 with Night Force rings. Night Force rings are really good and simple to mount. Got a pretty simple mounting system with just a little bolt on the side. So before filming this, I've roughly placed my rings on my scope, and I've also checked my eye relief, and I've made a mark on my Picatinny rail where I know it has to sit. So it's always good to do that first before you try and get everything level, so you don't have to mess around with eye relief once you've leveled everything off. So the final thing now is to just pop the scope on. As I said, I've already marked where I'm going to put it on my rail. Put the rings on loosely and then pop the bubble level on top. Then finally, it's just adjust the scope in the rings until it's level, and then cinch it up. As you can see, that's nice and level. I'll continue cinching up the screws and job's done. One thing I do recommend is when I get a chance, I'll make sure the rifle's all level again and take it outside with a plumb line and just make sure it's as level as possible using the plumb bob as well. That's also a good way of mounting scopes. However, I prefer to do this first because you can do it indoors and it's pretty accurate. So the result, I'm really happy with how it's turned out. These Night Force rings, which I believe are a medium, have left just enough clearance between the scope and the barrel that I'm not touching, but we've kept the scope profile quite low, so cheek weld should be quite nice with this setup. At some stage I'll be looking at getting a chassis with an adjustable cheek rest, which will be nice just to get that cheek weld a little bit more consistent. However, this will do the job for now. I've been really happy with the Mark 4 scope. However, we'll be looking at upgrading it to something like a Viper PST Gen 2 with MILRAD turrets, just to make things a little bit simpler in PRS. The Leupold Mark4 I've had probably around 10 years now, so it's worked out really well, and it's something I probably won't part with and maybe move on to another rifle at some stage. But for now, it's going to do the job nicely on this rifle, and be good to get out to the range and give it a good test out.